bikers harass female truck driver until her military K9s show their training. The highway stretched endlessly beneath the roaring engine of Olivia Carter's 18-wheeler. The sun was setting behind her painting, the sky in brilliant hues of red and gold. She adjusted her grip on the wheel, glancing at the two large crates secured in the passenger seat of her truck. Inside them were her most trusted companions, Thor and Shadow, two highly trained military K9s after serving 6 years in the Army as a K9 handler. Olivia had transitioned into truck driving to see the country while earning a living. But even though she had left the battlefield, she never traveled unprepared. The two Belgian molding wall were more than just pets. They were her family, her protectors, and her best defense in an unpredictable world. She had just crossed into Texas, pulling into a small truck stop to refuel, stretch her legs, and let the dogs out for a quick walk as she hopped down from the cab. She felt eyes on her. A group of bikers dressed in other vests and covered in tattoos lounged near their motorcycles. Their smirks and whispers sent a wave of unease through her. She had encountered her fair share of unwanted attention as a female truck driver, but something about this group set her instincts on high alert, ignoring them. Olivia unlatched the crates, letting Thor and Shadow hop down. They lean muscular bodies tined as they scanned the area. Shadow, the darker of the two, let out a low growl, as if he sensed the tension in the air. Nice dogs. One of the bikers called out as sauntered closer. He was tall and broad, with a scruffy beard and a smirk that didn't quite reach his eyes. "You sure a little thing like you can handle? A rig like that?" Olivia locked eyes with him, unfazed. "Yeah, I managed just fine." Another biker, younger and wiry, chuckled. "Maybe you need a real man to take the wheel for you? What do you say, sweetheart? Let us buy you a drink inside." "I'm not interested," she said firmly, clipping leashes onto the dogs' collars. The men exchanged glances, their amusement shifting to something more predatory. One of them took a step forward, his fingers twitching as if tempted to grab her arm. "Ah, don't be like that," he drawled. "We just being friendly." Thor, sensing the shift in his handler's stance, stiffened. His ears flattened and his lips curled back slightly. Olivia tightened her grip on the leash. "I said I'm not interested. Step back," instead of backing off the lead. Biker grinned wider. "Feisty. Huh, I like that." That was it. Olivia had been patient, but she wasn't about to let this escalate. She loosened her grip slightly on the leashes and gave a quiet but firm command, "Guard." Thor and Shadow immediately sprang into action. Shadow lunged forward, first letting out a deep, guttural snarl that made the biker jump back, his cocky demeanor. Vanishing in an instant, Thor followed suit, teeth bared his stance, rigid and aggressive. The bikers stumbled back, their bravado crumbling in the face of the military-trained K9s. "What the hell, call them?" Off the bearded biker snapped, raising his hands defensively. Olivia took a step forward, her voice. "Eyes cold, you thought I was alone out here, wrong. Move, these boys have been trained to take down threats a lot bigger and meaner than you. I suggest you get on your bikes and leave before they decide you're more than just a nuisance for a moment." The bikers hesitated then, as if coming to a silent agreement. They backed way, muttering curses under their breath. One of them shot her a glare before climbing onto his motorcycle. The engines roared to life, and one by one they sped out of the parking lot, disappearing into the darkening horizon. Olivia exhaled slowly, watching them go before turning to her dogs. "Good boys," she murmured, kneeling to ruffle their fur. Shadow let out a satisfied huff while Thor wagged his tail slightly, his eyes still watching the road in case they turned as she climbed back into her truck. She glanced at the passenger seat where the K9 crate sat. "Looks like I owe you two a steak dinner," she mused, smiling to herself. The road ahead was long, but with Thor and Shadow by her side, she knew she'd never be truly alone or unprotected, and that was all she needed. As Olivia pulled her truck back onto the highway, she kept an eye on her side mirrors. The bikers were gone for now, but something in her gut told her this wasn't over. She had dealt with men like that before, men who didn't take rejection well. Shadow let out a low chuff from the passenger seat, as if reading her tension. Olivia reached over, giving him a reassuring scratch behind the ears. "We're fine, boy, just a bunch of idiots." But an hour later, as the neon lights of a rest-stop diner came into view, her gut feeling turned into reality. In her mirror, the faint glow of motorcycle headlights appeared in the distance, not just one or two, at least four. Her grip on the wheel tightened, persistent. "Aren't they?" she muttered, Thor and Shadow. Both perked up. Sensing her unease, she didn't want to lead them straight to where she planned to sleep for the night, so she made a split-second decision, flipping on her turn signal. She guided the rig off the highway and into the diner parking lot, pulling up near a row of trucks. It was a well-lit place with a few customers inside, but at this hour it wasn't too busy. As she climbed down from the cab, the motorcycles rolled into the lot behind her. The same group of bikers dismounted, their boots crunching against the gravel as they approached. Olivia had had enough. Leaving the truck door open, she grabbed Thor's leash and unlatched his crate the moment his paws hit the ground. He was in full alert mode, his ears forward, eyes locked on the approaching men. "Hey, lady!" the bearded biker called out, spreading his arms like he was greeting an old friend. "You hurt my feelings back there. That wasn't very nice." "Walk away," Olivia warned her, tone flat and unwavering. The younger biker, the one who had chuckled earlier, sneered, "Or, what you going to set your mutts on us again?" Shadow, still inside the truck, let out a sharp, menacing bark. The sound was enough to make the younger biker flinch, but he quickly recovered, forcing a laugh. The bearded one took another step forward. "Come on now, we're just here to talk." Olivia didn't have time for their games in a fluid motion. She unhooked Thor's leash, giving a quiet but firm command. Protect that didn't hesitate. He launched forward in a controlled burst of speed, stopping just inches from the lead biker. His powerful chest rumbled with a deep warning, growl teeth bead and eyes locked onto his target. The biker froze his bravado, vanishing in an instant. Hey, call him off." Olivia crossed her arms. "Not until you and your buddies get back on your bikes and leave the other bikers," hesitated, clearly reconsidering their odds. One of them muttered, "Screw this, man, it ain't worth it." The bearded biker scowled but slowly backed away. "Crazy bee." Thor snapped his jaws together, the sound like a gunshot in the still night air. The biker didn't finish his sentence. Instead, he turned and stormed toward his motorcycle. One by one, the others followed within moments. They were gone, their engines roaring as they disappeared into the night. Olivia sighed, finally unclenching her fists. She knelt beside Thor, rubbing his head. "Good boy." Shadow whined from the truck, and she laughed. Yeah, you too, big guy." As she climbed back into the cab, she locked the doors and exhaled. This time, she was sure they wouldn't be back tomorrow. She'd be on the road again, another state, another mile closer to her destination, but tonight she'd sleep easy, knowing her best friends had her back, and with them by her side, no one would ever mess with her again with the bikers finally gone. Olivia sat in the driver's seat for a moment, letting the adrenaline settle. She ran a hand through her hair, glancing at her rearview mirror to make sure no one lingered in the distance. The sat beside her, his sharp eyes still watching the road as if expecting another threat. Shadow let out a soft huff from his crate, his ears flicking back as he relaxed. The danger had passed, but their instincts never truly switched off all right. "Boys," Olivia murmured, "let'n get some rest." She pulled out of the diner parking lot and onto the open highway, heading toward a truck stop she knew would be safe. It wasn't long before she found a well-lit rest area with several other truckers parked for the night. She eased her rig into a spot and shut off the engine. Stepping into the sleeper cab behind her, Olivia pulled off her boots and sat on the edge of the bed, the hopped up beside her, resting his head on her lap, while Shadow curled up near her feet. She sighed, rubbing Thor's ears. "You two saved me tonight," she whispered again. They had been with her through thick and thin, through her military deployments, through the long, lonely miles on the road, and tonight when she needed them most, they had stood between her and real danger without hesitation. He let out a small, satisfied sigh and closed his eyes, trusting her enough to finally relax. Olivia leaned back against the pillow, staring at the ceiling of her cab, knowing that sleep would come easily tonight out here on the endless road. She wasn't just a woman in a truck, she was a warrior, and with her K9s by her side, she was unstoppable.